Hey you guys! So I had a lot of fun coming up with all 9 of these different cards, which are totally different, and most of them are pretty simple, so if you wanted to make a lot of them to send out to a lot of your friends and family, you can totally do that. And the most exciting part of the card set is probably the Trifold shutter card, which I will show you how it goes together at the end here, but it's super simple, so it's not going to take very long at all. So I thought I would talk a little bit about the paper that I used, which is so cute. It's by Echo Park, and it's called Season's Greetings, and I found it at Archivers, but I've also seen it online on like 2 Peas in a Bucket, and it's just really cute paper. It's awesome colors. It's got a little bit of turquoise in there, which makes it a little bit different, and I just totally love it. So, but like I always say, any kind of Christmas paper that you use is gonna look cute if it coordinates. And I also used this AC cardstock Christmas paper, and as you've probably heard me say before, I love the AC cardstock because it's solid core, which means the inside of the paper is not white, so when your machine cuts it, it looks really nice on the edges, and it cuts really clean too. So for these 2 cards, I used some really thin little white ribbon, which I picked up at Michael's, which was like 50 cents for this whole roll. And it's nice and thin, and you can easily tie it into little tiny ribbon or little tiny bows, which looks really cute on these like 3 little repeating things on these 2 cards. And I really like the way that looks, and before I put the bows on, they were pretty cute, but once I added the bows, they were like really cute. So that is a fun tip. And I also used some stickles on this snow in here. It's just, if you've never used stickles before, it's just like glitter basically that you just put on and you let it dry, and that's it. So I also used this little Peace on Earth stamp, which is from Pumpkin Patch Stamps, and I'll show you those in just a minute because I used some of them on some of the other cards too. So for this Hanukkah card, it kind of needed a little something because I used just really plain cardstock on this part of it. So I could have used some pattern paper, which would have made it a little more exciting, but I added this this nice ribbon by American Crafts instead, which I also have picked up at Archivers in all different colors. It's really fun because it's just kind of like messy fabric flowers, and I just took my hot glue gun and I glued it right on there, which adds a really cute touch. So speaking of specialty ribbons, this is also something new that I just got this week also at Archivers, and they've got this big section of American Crafts ribbons, which there's just so much to see that I don't even like see it all every time I go. So this time I went and looked on the very bottom shelf, which is where I saw these netting ribbons, which I don't know if you can really see that very well, but it's like really thin netting. And I've actually wrapped a couple Christmas presents already, and I tied it around some Christmas presents, but I also used it in some unexpected places, like behind this tag. I just cut a little piece of it off and just put it back there. So you don't even really notice it, but when you do, it's like a really nice touch. It's kind of funky and different and fresh. So on the top of this, I also used some twine from the Twinery, which looks super Christmassy. I'm really loving that. And I also put the green netting on this coming out from behind the poinsettia a little bit, which is totally cute. And I also had a lot of fun just taking my stash of bling and buttons and stuff and just putting a bunch of random pieces of it down underneath this poinsettia. And this card is actually also really good for using up random pieces of coordinating paper. And if you're using paper that already coordinates, no matter what you throw together behind the poinsettia, it's going to look really cute. So this card really shows off some of the awesome paper from this stack. I really love this newsprint paper that's behind the poinsettia. And I also did some embossing on the top layers of some of this red paper to give it a nice, like, bring it out some more. And something that I did that I pretty much always do on like every single project is I took my black ink pad, my brown ink pad, and I rubbed it around the edge of every single piece before I started to glue it all together. And I just think it adds a really nice touch. It kind of like seals off the shape, so your eye kind of knows like what each shape is. I'm not even sure exactly why it's such a nice touch, but it's a really cool thing to do. And on this card, I also used my red stickles, and I just drew like a simple little line down the center of these top petals with the stickles. And sometimes it's kind of tricky with the stickles because I find myself like, sometimes I'll try to do something and I'll think, oh, it looks like a preschooler did it or something. So you can easily like overdo it with the stickles. So if you can ever just find like one little line to draw and just leave it at that, I think that works better than trying to like outline a whole shape or something like that. So for this card, I did a lot of embossing here. I did some on the scarf and on his wing, and I also embossed some little snowflakes on his ice skates. And I've done a lot of embossing on the rest of these cards too, but this is just a good example for just talking a little bit about the embossing machine that I have. And I used these folders from the Cuttlebug, and from what I've heard and what I've experienced, all the different folders from the different companies and the different machines are all interchangeable. So I'm actually using Cuttlebug folders with a Big Shot from SVG, which I'm totally loving. And basically you just take your paper and you put it inside the folder and you run it through the machine by putting it between these plates, and then you just crank this thing and it goes through, and it adds a really nice texture to your paper. So I've been checking out a lot of really cool folders by SVG, who also makes the Big Shot, and they have some really cool patterns that I can't wait to get my hands on, so look for those soon. This card is nice and simple and straightforward. If you wanted to make a whole bunch of these, it would probably be pretty easy, and it's fun to just pick out some coordinating papers, some coordinating cardstock, ink the edges, and there you go, super cute. And I did some embossing with a snowflake pattern on the top of the Y. So that's a fun one. So all the cute Christmas stamps that I used are from Pumpkin Patch Stamps. In the Christmas section, there's 3 different Christmas caption sets, which totally come in handy just for stamping, on the inside. You can just stamp Merry Christmas or whatever. So I had a lot of fun with those, and a lot of the SVGs that come with this kit actually fit the stamps perfectly, which is really cool to work with. But you can also use whatever Christmas stamps you might already have or you might see. So finally we have our most complex card here, which I didn't invent this. This is like a thing that people do, but it is really helpful to have your machine cut it out for you, because otherwise you would have to measure and you have to score and you have to cut with an X-Acto knife. But when you have your machine, you can just whip them out real fast and then have fun embellishing them with whatever you so choose. On this one I've got the cool poinsettia and the cute little stocking and everything. So let me show you how it comes off of your machine, looking like this, just a flat piece. And you just want to fold it so that it's going in the direction that you see in the picture, basically, which you can totally figure out on your own. So you just want to fold it. It's hard to explain, but once you have it in your hands, you can totally see how it goes. And if you're confused, you can look at a picture of it and just take it step by step and fold it like this. So that's really fun to embellish and put a couple stamps on and cute papers and stuff. So have fun with that. And finally, I just wanted to talk about a cool tip that I got from somebody. Brenda Fox sent me a little tip saying, hey, she likes this glue too, but I know sometimes when you're using it and you just, you set it down and then you go pick it up again to use it, you're trying to use it and it's kind of like dried out, or you have to shake it real hard. So she said, hey Mary, just leave it like this on your desk, and when you need it, just pick it up, while you're working on your project. You can just leave it like this, and then it just stays, it doesn't get dried up because it's sitting like this. And so I did do that this time. It totally helped, so thanks Brenda, and hopefully that helps you guys too. So I hope you had fun. I hope you're excited about all these holiday Christmas cards. I know I am, and I can't wait to get started on even more Christmas projects. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.